Toledo was reluctant to let go of its princess. First, the youngest daughter of the king had gone north, and now the eldest was heading to the same region, and to a ruler whose reputation was questionable. Princess Galeswinta herself was not eager to leave her homeland. What awaited her in Neustria with King Chilperic of the Franks? Negotiations for this marriage had dragged on for several years. King Athanagild of the Visigoths was not at all keen on marrying his daughter to the ruler of Neustria. When Chilperic approached him, the answer was a firm no. First and foremost, it was due to the reputation of the would-be groom. He had sent his first wife to a convent and openly cohabited with servants. Secondly, Chilperic ruled over the smallest portion of the Frankish kingdom, a mere patch of northern land. But the king of Neustria was not one to give up easily. He desperately needed this alliance. It would elevate his status and place him on equal footing with his brother, who had already married into the family of the Visigoth ruler. He had wed Galeswinta's own sister, Brunhilda. The Merovingians often formed alliances with women of low birth, or sometimes even entered into unions that were not sanctioned by the church. However, by the 6th century, the situation began to change. To gain respect among other kings, one needed to take a worthy wife, preferably of royal lineage. This meant that Chilperic's brother could look down on him, and that was something Chilperic could not tolerate. Fortune smiled upon him. A year after the failed courtship, his elder brother passed away, and his lands were divided among the remaining heirs. Now, Chilperic's territories included the cities of Limoges, Cahors, Dax, Bigorre, Béarn, and Bordeaux, along with lands in the Upper Pyrenees. A completely different scenario. It was no longer shameful to pursue Galeswinta's hand again. This time, the king of the Visigoths agreed to the marriage. 17-year-old Princess Galeswinta married Chilperic in Rouen in March of 567. According to the marriage contract, she received 5 Aquitanian cities as her mourning gift. This was a very generous offering for a bride. Should she become a widow or find herself divorced, Galeswinta would have ample means to support herself. The dowry of the Visigoth princess was equally impressive. The king generously endowed his eldest daughter, so the carts heading north were literally overflowing. Galeswinta brought with her amazing fabrics that had never been seen in Rouen, wonderfully fragrant spices, gold jewelry, and intricately carved furniture. Chilperic smiled contentedly. His young wife had not disappointed him. Moreover, he was now also related to the king of the Visigoths. Everything seemed to be going wonderfully. However, Galeswinta had a different perspective on the marriage. From the very first days in her new home, she encountered an unexpected rival. Her husband's former lover, Fredegund, who had no intention of showing her any respect. Fredegund was not pleased with Chilperic's marriage to the princess, as she herself was quite eager to be called queen. Chroniclers believe that it was Fredegund who orchestrated the banishment of Chilperic's first wife to a convent. And now that the king had wed Princess Galeswinta, she began to plot against her as well. Fredegund had the advantage of experience and cunning, qualities that Galeswinta lacked. The daughter of the Visigoth king was not accustomed to intrigue and fell into every trap that was laid for her. Although Chilperic did not show any particular attention to his former lover, the queen began to create scandals and demanded that Fredegund be sent away. Galeswinta complained to her husband that the maidservant treated her as an equal, and she would not tolerate such disrespect. Chilperic disliked the quarrels with his wife. He had envisioned his family life quite differently. The princess suited him, but these constant scandals were exhausting. For an entire year, the king and queen lived like they were on a volcano. Unable to take it any longer, Galeswinta proposed a divorce. She was ready to leave for home immediately. Fearing the rumors that would circulate after the marriage was dissolved, the king panicked. Let Galeswinta go? Allow his relatives to laugh at him? Never. After yet another argument with her husband, Galeswinta retreated to her chambers. She never came out again. She was found dead the next morning. Rumors circulated that Fredegund had a hand in it, while others blamed the king himself. The suspicions grew stronger when, Just a few days after Galeswinta's death, Chilperic remarried to his former lover. You remember that Galeswinta had a sister, the Queen of Austrasia? Her name was Brunhilda. Upon learning what had happened to her sister, she immediately took action, and the two kingdoms plunged into a war that lasted nearly half a century. To skip ahead, this conflict brought Chilperic neither honor nor glory among other kings. But that's a story for another time. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and thank you for your comments.